how important is it then for guerrilla marketing to push the limits, to be something, you know, very different? And maybe I'll start with Tim here, who maybe has a story to share with us too.
Well, you know, I mean, there's something that we say quite often with our clients, and it's the best litmus of success is if somebody called the cops. We don't mean that so literal. Sometimes we do. I mean, you want to do something, especially when you're in. I think trade shows, you're fighting with the Joneses. You're paying $20 for pads under the carpet, and you're lucky. You know, it's another $10 per square foot to be closer to the center of the room or by an exit. You really got to keep up with everybody else. And everybody's handing the same thing out, Frisbees and coffee mugs, and they got the same booth babe telling the same story. And honestly, what you got to do is you have to do something that honestly people look at and say, oh my God, how did they do that? How did they get away with that? In the example Sam just showed, people are probably saying, how creative is that? That is beautiful, that is greatness. You know, but I would say, and I'm not ever shy about it, but I would say you do want to push the envelope. You want to do the thing. I highly advise you call the trade show organizer and ask them for the golden rules. What can't we do? Can we promote outside our booth? And if you're doing anything on a sidewalk, call a public information officer with the police department. City officials are permits, or just put a bulletin out to the PIO. But honestly, it's common sense, but it's a nice little litmus is for everybody just sitting around the room, especially if you have that crucial Marcom and PR team that's in the room, and if they all start nodding their head and smiling and saying, "This is great. This is almost illegal." I mean, then you know you're getting somewhere. You can be successful without that being said, obviously, but try to push yourself. Try to push yourself till you get to that point, and you're like, I've never seen this done before.
Well, I would say that it can be, you know, it can be as blown out of the water and as big as the cops come in, the legal department getting on your. With the AMD example that I mentioned, our success metric was would Intel respond, and they did. And when Intel's PR department called our office and asked, how did you get our media list? You must have had our media list because all of our media were writing about you. We knew that we had been successful. And that was a blown out of the water example. But I think I love the brilliance of Sam's example, one that just came up at the spur of the moment with the bull riding. And even this is something that's small that has a large impact. But I want to point out with both large and small, the thing that I think is most important that it does, that we've all said, but I just want to reiterate, is that it does need to map back to your brand. You don't want to just do it for buzz's sake, for people saying, oh my goodness, how creative is that? And then not to know that it ties back to you. And I love that these have the stars on it that ties back to you. Not necessarily, it doesn't spell out tying back to, but it's and the same with the mechanical bowl, that it's reinforcing your brand. I often have clients come to me and want to do a big event and want to have a sports figure or an entertainment figure involved in the event. And as long as it maps back to the brand, as long as it's something that can reinforce your message, your communication message, it can be large or small.
And so I like this question because I think for all the relative success Spiceworks has had, it's why, and I'm up here on a panel, but I'd still rate us a failure, is that I don't think we've done enough, or we haven't pushed the limits enough. And I look at Sam's, I'm like, damn, that's the new. Well, back to what I said at the beginning, shamelessly, we're in as long as I don't think you're going into the IT conferences, and it'll be like more speed or more. I was thinking megahertz or gigahertz or whatever. They could be talking about IT stuff they like. But and so there's been a couple examples, and I'd actually say we held back. So we have this thing in Spiceworks. It's a chili pepper where people vote up and down feature requests. It's the spiciness factor. And one of our engineers about 9 months ago decided he didn't like it, so he took it out, and the community just revolted. And so there's this whole bring back the chili pepper thing, and it's actually in Wikipedia. If you look up Spiceworks, people write about the pepper controversy, and then there was a video that got produced about bringing back the chili pepper and stuff like that. And there's so much more we could have done with it, and we just, you know, because we were busy and there's other things, there was so much more there, and we almost sent one of our engineers who's a break dancer, almost went to a show as a breakdancing chili pepper at the Moscone Center. And I was like, well, no, it's gonna. And so there was like those times where we got right to the edge, and unlike the conversation Sam had, where it was like, let's just try, you know, for one reason or another we held back, and so I would grade those, you know, big red Fs. And so I think, you know, part of it is, you know, takeaway is just, you know, just when you have those moments, just plow ahead as long as it's, you know, not illegal. The cops may give you a warning. And we actually, where we did kind of have that was with our 2.0 launch. The theme was, you know, it's hot. It was like twice as fast and twice, you know, 2x the performance. And so we wanted this, you know, speed theme. And so we used the Hot Wheels flame around Spiceworks 2.0. And after about, it was really interesting because it was a really cool microsite. We didn't put it on Spiceworks. It was on our microsite. And after about 2 or 3 weeks, I started getting lots of emails from our users all over the world. I don't know, you guys better be careful. That looks like the Hot Wheels logo. I'd hate to see you get in trouble. And once I got like the 5th email from a user, oh, and these were all over the place, I said, probably a bad idea, because the users really care about us. So we yanked it, took it down everywhere, but at that point, the wheels had been set in motion, and probably one of our competitors or somebody doesn't like us because we pissed off some people, you know, obviously sent an email to Mattel, and then, you know, by the time that works its way, you know, middle of February, I got this email, and it was, sorry, we already took it down, we had to do a couple other things, but then they were totally cool about it, but it was, you know, that was at least, okay, we actually got some reaction, so in that sense, you know, and it was kind of cool because a lot of the bloggers and stuff were like, whoa, Spiceworks is hot. They're using the Mattel logo, so they might get in trouble, but even that happened. You know, so I'm glad, you know, so there again, you know, that was at least like a B. There was probably more we could have done with it. You know, like I said, Mattel's taking on Spiceworks. I mean, that's probably a stupid idea. So we didn't do that. So I think, you know, those are great. You know, you probably need to be hitting at least one of those buttons or having your CEO scold you, you know.
I like that term. It gets a reaction to be successful.
That's right. Absolutely.